Hello, my name is Father Bill Watson, and this is a question for our YouTube channel, Ask Father Bill. And let's explore the question, what is a discerning life? And I'd like to look at that question today from the perspective of silence in a discerning life. One of the most essential elements of a discerning life is the discipline of carving out times of contemplation and silence during your day. You don't have to be long, but long enough for you to listen to your heart and to know what you're feeling. Ignatian discernment requires a conscious awareness of one's affective states to discern which spirits are acting on us. And interior silence is needed to attune to one's affective states. Silence is something people are afraid of. I'm aware of that. And the enemy of our human nature is so skilled in nurturing any and all fears we have of slowing down, becoming quiet, and listening to what we are feeling. The challenge of slowing down sufficiently to be quiet and hear my interior world is a huge challenge in our world today. It is so challenging that I started off my main book on the Examined Sacred Story by talking about the loss of silence in our world. And here's a quote. Mid-last century, two Christian scholars, separated by distance and discipline, identified the very same threat as humanity's gravest. C.S. Lewis and Joseph Pieper wrote that the loss of the examined life, contemplative rest, and God consciousness is eroding culture and destroying humankind. Lewis's Screwtape Letters sketches a plan for humanity's destruction through the blinding of people's awareness of the present and the eternal. The goal is a world devoid of reflective contemplation. Pieper's Leisure, the Basis of Culture affirms that the very survival of Western society hinges on the re-establishment of contemplative rest or leisure as the preeminent foundational value of an enlightened, creative, and growing culture. Each writer identifies the fundamental challenge confronting the person seeking a measure of self-reflection. For Pieper, the world of total work is annihilating all unstructured time, thus rendering impossible the capacity for self-awareness to open human consciousness to the world as a whole. C.S. Lewis sees a strategist's hand in this global evolutionary trend toward darkened conscience. The world of noise and chaos will, in the end, silence every heavenly voice, as well as human sensitivity to the inner stirrings of conscience. Pieper sees the erosion of a contemplative, reflective space slipping away with such monstrous momentum that he wonders whether its loss and the hyperactivity filling the void has demonic origins. His solution is to reclaim a space for leisure that provides contact with those superhuman life-giving forces that can send us renewed and alive again into the busy world of work. A divine counter-strategy for nullifying the demonic forces that Lewis and Pieper unmask is found in the psalmist's words, "Be still and know that I am God." Jesus too affirms that the kingdom is among you. These scriptural prescriptions speak to us, but shouting much louder are the cultural, psychological, and spiritual forces arrayed against the awakening of human consciousness to the world as a whole. These overpowering forces gain strength each day. We are losing touch with the intimate presence of God in and among us. In fact, we are in the full bloom of what Thomas Merton described as the violent hyperactivism of our world. The threat, while still gaining force, is primeval. Strategies to confront it are as ancient as the threat itself. God, working through both the chosen people and the church's saints, has provided us countless spiritual resources to meet it head on. So commit to finding these short contemplative rests in your day and ask God to help you hear his voice and follow it. And here's a short story to capture the challenge of being quiet and following the wisdom of the heart. A good friend of mine worked very hard during college to get a job with a top finance company in New York. It was a fierce competition, and he was the one who came out on top of the pile when it was all said and done. He was initially so overcome with excitement and pride that he thought for months he was in seventh heaven. A goal so hard won was finally his, right in his hands. Then one day, while at a happy hour on a Thursday evening in the city, his drink was empty and the music stopped playing. He looked around at the crowd of his many clones who had also worked hard to get to the top spot. What he could not see in his colleagues or feel in himself was any sense of joy or peace. This scared him, and he quickly got another drink. And the resumption of the music and the fresh cocktail helped him suppress his thoughts and feelings and get back to having fun. However, if he allows himself to actively reflect on this experience once he is back home, the first thing that will need to be managed is his fear. Because he was actually fearful about what the feelings of not having joy or peace might mean. How could something so hard won not make him joyful or peaceful? If he allows himself to ask God what the lack of joy and peace mean, well, then our friend has moved beyond discerning his affective states to having a discerning life. And let's hope he takes it. And I hope that helps.